If you ever tried to start an NEMT business and you felt like companies that you were calling was basically not want to tell you anything, they was basically gatekeeping, well, guess what? You're not crazy. It's prevalent in the industry, unfortunately, but we may have answers that we unpacked it and we can share with you in this video. So stick around. We're going to talk about the gatekeepers. So now we're about to get into my 21 questions, the gatekeeper questions that you should ask, you know what I'm talking about, when you get into this industry, or ask around to help you on your journey. These are my 21 questions. So listen up, take notes, fast forward, rewind, whatever you got to do, but this will help equip you with understanding the beginning stages of your journey in the NEMT business. Question number one in your 21 questions. How much money does it really take to start an NEMT business? The bare minimum. Just give me the basics of what you think a starter package is going to cost me to get started. From the insurance to the vehicle purchase, if you need a vehicle purchase, to the licensing and certifications, application fees, inspections, background checks, etc., etc. Question number one. How much money does it really take to start an NEMT business? Bare minimum. Question number two. Question number two is, what is the average cost for one vehicle to get on the road fully insured and compliant? Meaning what I just talked about, the last question, inspections and things of that nature. So what would that entail? Insurance. Are we talking $900 plus to be compliant? The inspection, which is maybe $50. So now we at $950. So how much, or what is the average cost for one vehicle to get on the road fully insured and compliant? That's a question that you need to know. And then if you go back to any of my videos, right, this is where market research is important. Case in point, I had somebody comment on my video the other, maybe last week, right? This is in Ohio. I did on my Coach's Corner series, I did how to start a NEMT business in Ohio. And somebody in Toledo commented that those are not the steps to help you get started. The video, the information was good, but not in Lucas County. I really appreciate that video. That comment. For one, it helps people in Lucas County. And two, it always goes back to what we say. All the people that do content or give information about how to start a business, in whatever state it is, it still boils down to you doing your market research in your own demographic area, because we do not live there. So the point is, do your own research. Do your own research. And like I said, I appreciate the comment, because that lets people know in Lucas County it doesn't apply to them. It may apply to other people in the counties, but based off the research I was doing, it was applying to counties in the state of Ohio. But that's where your market research come in at. That's question number two. I didn't mean to drag that out though. Question a lot. So what's the real profit margin per ride after gas, driver pay, and dispatching fees, if you use a dispatching service, right? What does that entail? If I'm doing a trip for $200 and gas is going to be $40 and the driver is $40 and dispatching fees possibly $12, 40, and 12, that's what's 92 out of 120. That means your profit would be what? 92 out of 120, that's $28. Is that feasible for you? But that's just one trip. So you got to do the math, see what would be a profit margin based off of those specific, elements in your equation for your trip. So question number three, what's the real profit margin per ride after gas, driver pay, and dispatching fees? So now we're on question four. Question four is, how do you actually price your rides for private pay, Medicaid, and broker trips? Okay, so broker trips, if you don't know, broker trips, more than likely the broker is going to coordinate all that. You as a provider can also negotiate, you know what I'm saying, basically those trips to get a margin that you are looking for. It's all negotiable. It's not set in stone, but they do have their numbers that they want to stick to. Driver pay. What are you paying your driver? Are you paying them per hour? Are you paying them per trip? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to structure that particular aspect of your business? And then after gas, depending on what type of vehicle you have, how much it's going to take to do those trips. So question 4 is, how do you actually price your rides for private pay, Medicaid, or broker trips? This is something that you could potentially be asking, you know what I'm saying, other providers, because they like to hold this information. And these particular questions will get you straight. So question 5, can I use my personal vehicle, or do I need a commercial vehicle from day one? Now this is kind of, this is a good question, right? Because I would say start with your personal vehicle. But your personal vehicle can't be in your personal name. You have to transfer the business. You transfer the personal vehicle into your business name in most cases, right? Or do you plan on getting a commercial vehicle, meaning you're going to finance or lease from day one? That's all about your market research anyway, also. Because if you think about it like this, do you have the credit, for one, to get a vehicle, and or do you just want to start off with what you have, just to minimize the cost that you are shelling out of your business? So, can you use your personal vehicle, or do I need a commercial vehicle from day one? That's question number 5. And the answer to that is, yes, you can use a personal vehicle, but it may be in some states or counties you may not be able to. Maybe your broker won't allow you in your particular state. It all depends. That's where your market research comes in at. But that's a great question to ask, you know what I'm saying, from day one. Number 6, LLC versus sole proprietorship versus S Corp versus C Corp versus partnership. What's the best entity structure for your NEMT business, and why? Well, it all depends on you and the tax strategy that you want to use, as far as, you know, tax deductions and things like that. You may want to contact a CPA or somebody that can help you with that question, or if you already know and you just want the basics, you might want to go with the limited liability company, because when you go into the S Corp and C Corp, there's different, you know, things that you can do, but there's certain, you know, income requirements that you have to meet, you know what I'm saying, in order to qualify for certain things. But I'm not going to give you that type of advice on this channel, so I would tell you to seek somebody else. But what type of business entity structure should you set up? It's all on you. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, how you want to go about, you know what I'm saying, getting some of this get back. You know what I'm saying, the money that you're shelling out, you want to make sure that you can maximize the most in your business. And there's these different structures that they have, whether it's LLC, whether it's a sole proprietorship, whether it's an S Corp, C Corp, or a partnership. They all have tax advantages, and it all depends on what type of structure you want to use in your particular business. So I'll leave it up to you, but that's a question that, you know what I'm saying, also will be helpful when you're first starting off. Because sole proprietorship is something that has the least benefits as possible when it comes to those business entity structures. And you don't want the one that has the least benefits, because it's not going to benefit you, because you're basically working a job and paying the highest taxes. Well, don't let me. So now we're on question number 7. What are the must-have licenses and certifications I need to operate legally? Is it your CPR? Is it the PASS certification? Is it the MPI? Is it the I know it's a couple more, you know, I can't think of them offhand, but what are the must-have licensing and certifications I need to operate legally in your particular state? That's where your market research comes in at. Or if you partner with a broker, they'll tell you that you're going to need these certain certifications and licensing, and then you got to figure out how much it's going to cost, how much time it's going to take you to complete these certifications and licenses. So with that being said, this is one of the gatekeeping questions they don't want to tell you, but I'm telling you now. what are licensing, certifications, and things that I may need to have to operate legally. That's the key point. We want to be out here operating legally, so it won't be no hang up on my money. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want nobody playing with your money. So get everything done up front. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about it. That is question number 6. Now we at question number 8. So question number 8 is, how much do those certifications like CPR and PASS certification really cost? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. CPR certification online can be anywhere from $37 to, we'll say, $54, right? And then you can always also have the online version, which is like $79 all the way up to $120, depending on what state you're in and what source that you go to get these certifications, such as Red Cross, YMCA, and things of that nature, right? So it all depends. So one is the online version, one is a in-person version. The one that's in person is more, it costs more because you're going to be interactive, right? PASS certification, they have an online version also, and they also have a virtual version. One is set $50, and then the other one is $750. $50 is online. You get the most basic certification from the PASS certification, ctaa.org, and or your virtual, which is $750, where you are training a trainer, meaning you get the information and you can train other providers wherever you want to. You can go across the 50 states. I highly recommend it, but I'm not telling you what to do because it's $750. You know, when you're first starting off, people may not be able in that position to pay for that. But it's highly recommended on my end to get the train the trainer, right? $750 again. That is question number 8 of your 21 questions. Question number 9, what's the process to become a Medicaid provider and how long does it take? It all depends. Usually it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to become a Medicaid provider, but depending on the processing time in your particular state, it could be less time or more time. So what's the process to becoming a Medicaid provider and how long does it take? It depends on your state. Market research is where you're going to get that information from, so don't sleep on your market research. Do your research before you, watch these videos, right? You help the channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate it if you share this video. You know what I'm talking about? Share this video because it's 21 questions. I think everybody needs to know these 21 gatekeeping questions that you should have. Okay? But with that being said, what's the process of becoming a Medicaid provider and how long does it take? It all depends of you and your state. Number 10 of our 21 gatekeeper questions. Are there application fees for becoming a Medicaid provider? If so, how much? In most instances, there's no application fee to become a Medicaid provider, but I've seen in some circumstances that they are, I would say, $100. I've seen that, I believe, I forgot what state that was, but I seen that the other day. I can't remember what state that was, but it's a $100 application fee. North Carolina. So there's a $100 application fee, okay? But, it all depends on your particular state. Some states don't charge at all. In some states like North Carolina, they do. You know what I'm talking about? So market research. So are there application fees for becoming a Medicaid provider? It all depends. Do your market research though. How do you even get in contact with a transportation broker? It's a great question, right? Because in this day and age, a lot of brokers are holding back on receiving or accepting new providers. So how do you get in contact with these brokers? It's not really no way to, I would say they have phone numbers, they have emails. But do they answer them? Majority of the time, no. But do you need to stay consistent with trying to contact them? Yes, until they get tired of you. Send them 10 emails a day if you have to. Stay on top of it. Call them morning, they don't answer the phone. Noon, they don't answer the phone. Afternoon, try to get them jokers on the phone three times a day, multiple times if you can. So with that being said, there's phone numbers, there's emails, there's LinkedIn. I would say even try ChatGPT to find contact information for them. But there's ways to find this information. Just think outside the box. Because they have phone numbers, they have emails, but do they check them all the time or respond? No. So that's the question. Yeah, like I said, something that you need to ask so you can have this information, privy to you when you start this business. Question number 11. A lot of people want to know how they can work with Medicaid, because that's basically a check that you can get instantly when you're working in the NEMT industry. So what the question is what exactly do I need to show Medicaid to prove I'm ready to transport patients? Well, for one, you probably need to have all your certifications and licensing together, and two, you need to make sure that you have filed a proper application with Medicaid in order to partner with them to work with them, whether it's through a broker or through your own way of submitting online application or mailing the application. So to answer that question, what exactly do you need to show to prove that you're ready? Make sure you got your license and certification out the way, because you're going to need to do that anyways. So get that out the way. You're going to need CPR most definitely and pass certification. Question number 14. What do brokers look for when choosing who to contract with? So there are several factors that could contribute to this. Like model care, they want you to be in business for at least a year or two before doing business with you. They want to see that you have a track record of transporting patients, dealing with medical facilities, trips, dispatching. They want to see that you have some experience. So it all depends on who the broker is and what are their qualifications. So what do brokers look for? Some of them look for experience. Others just look for, do you have a vehicle? Do you have qualified drivers? There's different things that they look for in in providers, and it's all about basically what need do they have, what demand do they have at that particular time, because they may be looking for somebody that has a wheelchair accessible vehicle as opposed to ambulatory, and if you don't fit that criteria, then they're not going to be looking for you. So different brokers have different criteria, and it all depends. So you just got to figure it out. But that's the question that you need to know, when you get into this industry, and knowing all about what I should be looking for and what should I be asking, different providers, insurance companies, etc., etc. So question number 12, what's the difference between billing Medicaid directly versus billing through a broker? It's a major difference. So billing directly is you submitting a bill based off the price that you determine for your services. So you're billing them, and if you don't bill them, you're not going to get paid, right? Simple as that. Versus billing through a broker. Usually the broker is billing Medicaid for a fee, and you are basically, you receive your payment through how much they determine that trip is, that whatever your contract is between you and the broker. So if they say you get $19 for a one-way trip, then you're gonna get $19 for a one-way trip. So that's basically how it is. They submit the paperwork to the broker, but at the same time, you got to submit your paperwork to the broker to make sure that you did the trip, and you got to stay on top of your money, because a lot of paperwork gets lost in the system. Just so you know, paperwork gets lost in the system, not all the time, but it gets lost. So keep up with your records at all times. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you're in this game, or in this industry. I ain't gonna say game. In this industry, keep up with your paperwork. I can do story time for you, and I give you a couple stories on how my shit ain't come back for I believe it was 94 days or something like that. So stay on top of your paperwork. So what red flags will, question number 15 out of your 21 gatekeeping questions. Question number 15, what red flags will make brokers deny you right away? So one of the things that could be that could deny you is you are a current felon, you know what I'm saying, and you have any type of fraud on your jacket. You don't have licensing certifications, and you did not pay the proper application fees. There's several things that could go into that, but those are some of the red flags that could pop up. just have your shit together when you come to see these people, because they do check, and they have so many providers that they are dealing with that they don't have time to be, I'm talking about jerking around, fucking around with somebody that ain't got their stuff together. They could just move on to somebody else. I'm talking about. Question number 16 out of your 21 gatekeeping questions that everyone should know in the beginning. Question number 16, how long does it take to get your first contract or client? It all depends. What is your work ethic like? What is your grind or your hustle like? Are you the type that will get on the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning and start calling these facilities? Are you the type of person that's going to put some sweat equity into your business where you are buying those trifold brochures with all your information in there, and you're going to these medical facilities, you're dropping the pamphlet off, you are shaking hands with the transportation managers at these medical facilities? Are you the one that's going to these different summits, conferences and things like that? Are you rubbing shoulders with other NEMT providers? You're introducing yourself, you're networking. You can get your clients just like that. You know what I'm talking about? You can lock in a client, I would say, just like that. But you also can stagnate yourself by not putting yourself out there, not socializing social media. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your presence present at all times. You know what I'm saying? People should know what you do. You know what I'm talking about? If you look up on YouTube or anything like that, if you see NEMT University, you know what I talk about. I eat, shit, breathe NEMT. You know what I'm talking about? So you know, if you have anything that's pertaining to Dante besides real estate, it was non-emergency medical transportation, because this is something that fed my family for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? So if you get on the internet, that's what you know me by. So what I'm saying is, you can get that client. It all depends on you, your work ethic, your relationships, and things of that nature. Get out here, get out your shell. If you are one of them type of persons, you know what I'm talking about, that don't want to associate or, feel real uncomfortable, talking to people, then this might not be the business for you, because this is about movers and shakers in this particular business. It's about moving, shaking, and collaborating. So it can be done. So that is question number 16. How long does it take to get your first contract or client? It all depends on you, you know what I'm talking about? It's your business. So just like the job you was working at before, it was their business. So they had to build it up to a certain point where they can hire other people and they can fall back while you help run the business. You know what I'm talking about? So it's all on you. You got to build this shit up. So question number 17, can I operate as private pay only? And how do I get those clients? Well, you know what I preach on NEMT University. I'm all about private pay. I want you to do direct relationships so you can basically dictate how much money you're going to take home to you and your family, as opposed to splitting the money 60-40 with a broker. So can I operate as private pay only? Absolutely. You don't have to work with a broker. In some states you may have to go with a broker, but I have a broker pamphlet on my website that's available for purchase, and it tells you broker states and things like that, and how you can navigate if you are in a broker state. So can I operate as private pay only? Absolutely. That's question number 17 of the 21 gatekeeping questions that you should know. Question number 18. Question number 18 is, what tools are best for scheduling and dispatching drivers? So there's dispatching software such as Bambi Health, NEMT dispatching, TripSpark. There's a couple of other ones out there. I think Duet. There's a few different dispatching softwares, but there's also a website builder company called Whole Route, where they can do everything for you all in one. It's all inclusive. You know what I'm talking about? You can have your web page with the functionality of trips being booked on your website. This is what the Whole Route does. It's like an all-in-one package. It may cost you a little couple dollars, $800 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you want all in your website, but it can be done. So it all depends. but that's what your research is about. You can call whole route, tell them that Dante sent you from Nemt University, and get you a quote and figure that out. Or you can go the other route and speak to Navi at Bambi Health, and $69 a month will get you access to the dispatching software and booking your trips. So it's all about the route you want to take, but do your research. So people want to know this as well. We're on question number 19 out of your gatekeeping questions that every new provider should know. Question number 19, what does a day-to-day look like for an NEMT owner-operator? So basically you're gassing up about 5:45, depending on what your trip is like, or you gassed up the night before. So it all depends. So if your first trip has to be there by 6:30, then that means you're out the door by like 5:15, so you can gas up and do all of that. In the meantime, in between time, you are doing trips from the time that you get up to lunchtime, which is roughly between 12 and 1:30, right? And then from there, you're going to do your second half. But if you are doing, say for instance, you were doing student transportation, you're dropping off, well, in our case, you're dropping off students by 7:12 a.m. And then you're done until 2:09 p.m. And that's when you're picking up the students to return home. But in between those hours of 7:15 and 2:09, you are doing other trips, such as medical facilities, physical therapy, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And from there, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to close out your books, and do all your paperwork or whatever you need to, you know, close out the day, and that will be the end of your day, per se. But it's not the same every day. I can tell you that it's not the same every day. You may have, you know, different type of trips. You know, it's quite interesting. And if it wasn't for HIPAA, you know, I think more providers would be out here, you know what I'm saying, showing you a day-to-day, but it's not even possible. So just give you a good word of mouth and how it goes. But that's basically just my day, at least. But so question number 20 of our 21 questions that every NEMT provider, the 21 gatekeeping questions every NEMT provider should know or have in the arsenal. What's the biggest mistake you made your first year in business? Working with brokers, or not knowing enough information about brokers, not understanding what the business relationship with brokers is and how I can make it benefit. I didn't know that you could negotiate rates and things like that. So that was my biggest mistake, being naive and not understanding the business aspect of working with brokers. Because initially it's all up to you as a provider to understand the information and to make the best outcome and scenario for you. So educating yourself, getting more educated. So that's my biggest mistake, not having the proper education to be a 6 or 7 figure successful NEMT provider. You know what I'm talking about? It's important. And now we have arrived at the 21 questions, the gatekeeping questions that every NEMT new provider should have in the arsenal when they first get started to help you further your journey into becoming a successful provider. You know, as 50 Cent said, you know what I'm saying, I got 21 questions. You know what I'm talking about? That was the theme of this particular video. I got 21 questions. And I believe these 21 questions will help all you newcomers, especially you know what I'm saying, the newcomers that's coming to the channel. Welcome, for one. And then for two, hopefully these questions will help you, you know what I'm saying, navigate on how to talk with, you know what I'm saying, different brokers or other providers. You know what I'm saying? So you can get some answers to help you on your journey to see if this is going to be something that you are interested in, especially the money-wise. But question 21, if you had to start over tomorrow with only $3,000, what would be your exact first 5 steps? Well, first, it would be I would have to get certified. So we're looking at $750 for the certification, pass certification. We're looking at $100 for the CPR certification. So that's $850. We're going to need some insurance, which possibly could be like $2,400, and we might be there, right? You know what I'm saying? We might be there, but we got to find the best quote by contacting an insurance agent to help us get the best quote for our particular business. So if I had $3,000, that would be, I would get certified, and I would use my personal vehicle, get my certifications, and get my insurance for my vehicle, so I can be already on the road and ready to go once they approve that application. But I didn't give you the 5 steps, but you get the idea. I would use that money wisely to get on the road and ready to be locked in with these brokers, because they're the ones that's going to help you, get pay those bills in the beginning, while you simultaneously building up your private pay business, going into these medical facilities, shaking hands, dropping off business cards and brochures. So those are your 21 questions. The 21 gatekeeping questions that experienced providers don't want you to know. So last but not least, you may want to know why these questions don't get answered, because once you've got the answers, basically you are a threat. They believe you are a threat. That's the only way that I can see it, right? So, but with that being said, just do your research, get out here, educate yourself, and maybe later on down the line they may need you. They may not. Maybe trip might fall apart, and they need somebody to pick it up, and you might be the one that's going to help them. So don't let it discourage you. It's going to be gatekeepers and everything. You know what I'm talking about? But there's ways around it. Educate yourself, and use the power that God gave you. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't about gatekeepers, it's about gate openers. That's what we do here at the NEMT University. I am a vessel to help educate you on this industry, and hopefully the videos that I put out serves a purpose, and it gives you some insight and some, I ain't gonna say hope, because hope sounds, some stuff that people had back in the 60s and stuff. It gives you that reassurance that it's more than possible. So with that being said, I appreciate you watching. So if this video helped you, drop a little key in the comments. You know what I'm talking about? I want you to share the video. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you. I have NEMT for Dummies podcast on Apple and Spotify. We have NEMT University on Substack, our private community. You can book a strategy call. There's $150. I just want to put that out there so everybody know. The consultation call is 60-minute Zoom. We have one-on-one mentorship and all that other type of stuff. I'm not here to promote that. I'm here for you. So until the next one, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that subscribe to the channel and share the video and like the information. Until the next one, love, peace, and light. Salute.